Hey everybody, it's Chris again. We're going to do a part 2 from a video we did recently about surfacing documents in your SharePoint pages with what's known as the File Media web part. So I've created a page here that's got some collapsible sections in it, so I can show you examples of surfacing documents on a SharePoint page and some of the features that you can use when your users are looking at those documents, from scrolling up and down to searching for content to go full screen, stuff like that. So anyway, what we're going to do is a little refresh on a previous video. Each of these collapsible columns, when I click on them, they'll open up to show content. You can see just like that. So we're going to go through each of these 4, and starting with the display documents, which would be the example of surfacing a Word document. Then we'll do the displaying a spreadsheet, which has a couple of other features in it, so you can specify what part of a spreadsheet you'd like to see, things like that. Then we'll move on to displaying PowerPoint slides, and then we'll finish up with displaying a PDF file on the page. Some folks like this feature, this File Media web part, because they might have documents out there that they simply want people to read, not make any updates to, but have a reliable, fast way to find them instead of having to search around in the documents libraries. If we take them straight to a page that has specific documents that they might want to review more frequently, then you can point them to a page that's got these either sections for your collapsible sections, or just a straight column section. So this is just more showing you about how that collapsible section feature works. So let's go ahead and start. Last time in the previous video, we showed loading 2 Word documents, and you'll notice, just give it a moment, it will render at the top of the page of the actual documents. And these were just short Word documents. And the way we put these in here was basically editing the web part that's carrying this document and telling it what document that you want to show. And we'll do a little refresh on that during this video today too. So this one's, again, previous video. What's new is displaying a spreadsheet. So let's open that up. You'll notice here, it's still surfacing content, but in this case, it's going to format it as a spreadsheet that you can move up and down in. You could actually work in the fields. Depending on how you set your permissions, you can make this read-only, so all the users can do is simply take a look. And again, we're on one column of a 2-column section, so if we needed to, in this example, we're moving back and forth a little bit. Nothing says you can't put this into its own full section, so you'd be able to use the rest of this page area here too. If we take a look at this for a moment, we'll see that we can open it in full-size workbook. In other words, we could actually go full screen with this. There's some information about the workbook. There's not a lot here. You'll just see it's just the URL and what they call the embed code that it's using to render that spreadsheet in your page right here. This is more of a feedback to Microsoft. This is a good one for spreadsheets to refresh all data connections. So if you have been in this spreadsheet for a while and maybe the actual spreadsheet's being worked on by somebody and you wanted to see the most recent version of it, this refreshing the data connections is going to do that for you, as well as letting you download this spreadsheet and use it directly with Excel too. So that's an example of displaying a spreadsheet. I'm going to put the page into edit mode. And we're going to look at the spreadsheet again. This time, it's going to always take a few seconds to get kind of rendered there. But in here, if I click directly on the web part, a menu is going to come up where I can do some edit. So editing would be, in this example, I wanted to show the entire workbook But let's just say I had a spreadsheet and I really wanted to just show a chart or a table that's in it, or a specific range. So a specific range, I'd be telling it the name of the sheet, meaning the spreadsheet, and what starting cell and ending cell I want to see, as well as being able to show grid lines or allow sorting. In other words, allow the visitor to sort the spreadsheet that they're looking at too here also. For now, we're going to leave it the way it is, but what you'll notice is there's going to be some additional settings you can do when you're surfacing files and documents on your pages that are specific to the type of document that you're working with. What I mean by that is you wouldn't tend to see these types of configuration setting options if you were doing a Word document. This lends itself more to being for a spreadsheet. So we'll close out here. And now let's go down to our third one, which is displaying PowerPoint slides. We're going to open up the collapsible section. Notice we've got a couple here. One is just a one-pager example of a PowerPoint slide. Notice there's not a whole lot of options here. You've got a little bit of a menu to download a copy, print to a PDF, but there's no searches going on in here, whereas in that spreadsheet it would actually let you search the spreadsheet, as well as you're going to see in a moment the ability to search through a PDF that you're displaying on your page too. So we'll close that, and the reason I put the second one in here is you can see it has 17 slides in it. So if I simply click on a picture that's showing me this first slide, it's going to move around. So I can navigate through the deck by simply clicking on the pictures or whatever is in the slide. But you could also do the same with these right and left buttons right here. As for options, you've got the same download a copy, print to PDF, things like that, or full size. So again, as a reminder, when I'm in edit mode, if I decided that I wanted, let's just say for this web part, where it's just giving you one page as an example, if you edit this web part, this is where you can change the file. And when you click on change the file, it's going to look in one of your document libraries, normally your My Documents, for that file. If you have it in another document library, you can still use it. You just have to pick that other document library where you might have your files located. Good enough. Let's go ahead and get into regular kind of view mode here. I'll republish for a second. And then we're going to go ahead and just open up as a user what the PDF files option is. Same type of a collapsible section. PDFs tend to load a little faster. That's why you're seeing the title of this document pretty quickly. I can scroll up and down in the document. I can go full screen. However, I can also search. So let's just type in data. This kind of relates to SharePoint governance. And I'm going to hit enter. And what you're going to notice is it found 22 instances of the Word data, sometimes part of a bigger Word-like database. And what's nice about this is it'll highlight in your document wherever it's finding what you're searching for. So again, when you're reviewing documents and you're looking for content that has certain phrases in it or things like that, you'd be able to go ahead and search on something. We're going to clear that out. And if you don't move your cursor around for too long, that menu here will go away. That'll tend to go away faster when we're actually publishing the page or having it published. So as you're moving around, you'll eventually notice that this will go away as you're working. And that's it. So let's go ahead and close up. We're going to put the page into edit mode. And just as an example before we close, we covered it in our first video, but for PDF files as an example, we'll open up our collapsible section, we'll notice that we only have the one web part in here, which again is called the file media web part. And we're going to add it again. So we're going to add a web part. We're looking for file and media right here. And now it wants to know what we want to show. And again, so these are the documents that are in my document library. I want to pick this PDF right here and insert. And that's going to put that right here on the page, just like the one to the left side of it. Same functionality. What's nice about the newer versions of SharePoint, the editing of the document, or in this case a PDF that I'm surfacing, will have a different set of configuration settings than, let's say, a spreadsheet or others. And since a PDF doesn't tend to really get altered too much, you're not going to see a whole bunch of other options here like we did see over in the spreadsheet. But all of these file media web parts, when we're in the settings for them, normally will give you the ability to change the file so that you can pick another file from your document library and have it showcase here. So let's save as draft. And we're going to republish. And that's about it. So we've got a regular SharePoint page that's got a section in it that has collapsible capabilities, so that we can pick a category we're looking for and then have it go ahead and load up the document, in this case the spreadsheet, that you want to deal with. And you, again, depending on your permissions, you would be able to simply just read what's here, or if you had the permissions to make edits, you could make the edits too. Again, that's a function of the permissions for this particular document that's in your document library. That's it. Let's go back home. And thanks again for your time.